All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to this, shall we? All right, so Deadpool and Wolverine's coming out in 13 days. We've been counting down what can be said that hasn't been said already. It's going to be big. We've already seen projections at the high end around $200 million opening weekend, at the low end around $165 million opening weekend. Either would be the biggest opening of the year, and either would also be the biggest opening all time for any R-rated film in history. But could it be even bigger than that? I want to take a look at a social media post by our friend Eric Davis, who works over at Fandango. And he wrote this. New. More Marvel news. Deadpool and Wolverine is now on pace to be Fandango's best ticket preseller of 2024, but that's not the big thing. It is currently doubling all other top-selling 2024 titles. Read that again. It's on pace to be Fandango's best ticket pre-seller of 2024 and is currently doubling all other top-selling 2024 titles. I want to remind everybody that as of right now, the biggest opening weekend of 2024 was Inside Out. That while projected for an impressive $85 million opening weekend, actually ended up having a $154 million opening weekend. That's what Inside Out had. And now Fandango is saying that as of right now, still 13 days out, that Deadpool and Wolverine is doubling the pace of any other top ticket selling movie of 2024 so far. Now, I want to bring up something very important. Fandango, while a very important and large ticket seller for the movie industry, is not all movie tickets. Mm-hmm. And just because, number one, it's on pace doubling everything else, that doesn't mean it will end at the end of the next 13 days doubling. And even if it does end up being double the next biggest ticket seller on Fandango, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll have double the opening weekend in total of what, like, say, Inside Out 2 had. Because I can already, hear some people going, double? So it's going to have a $300 million opening? Woo! I do not believe that Deadpool and Wolverine is going to have a $300 million opening. But even with that out, I went today, Ray, to the AMC website again, to the advanced day. That's the Thursday, July 25th. There were triple the amount of theaters playing Deadpool and Wolverine than the last time I checked. Like, they have just continued to add more and more screenings, because you remember all the initial screenings had the IMAX screenings, the Prime screenings, stuff like they were all sold out. So I think there was like 12 screenings that day. There's a hell of a lot more now. Or there was like 8 screenings, whatever. There's tons more. They keep adding more and more screens because tickets, even though we're still 2 weeks out, continue more and more to sell. All right. I'm going to make a call right now that I reserve the right to change as we get closer. But I'm going to say that $165 million projection that the Hollywood Reporter gave out, I think that's out the window. I at this point, it's completely out the window.
So it's closer to the original, you're thinking?
I think it's going to be closer to that $200 million, which I can't remember. I think Spider-Man No Way Home might be the last time we had a $200 million opening weekend. Yeah, Ray, you can double check that for me. Did Spider-Man No Way Home have a $200 million opening? Here.
So opening was 260.
260, right? I think that was the last time. Now, I know Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness got close to that, like 180, 190 something million, but this could be the first. I think this is going to be the first $200 million opening weekend.
That was 187 for
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
I just think the marketing for this has been masterful. They have not. This is important. Nobody else has mentioned this. They have not oversaturated the marketing for this either. Like, I expected a month or two ago that like everything would have a Deadpool and Wolverine logo on it. Like, oh, the Acolyte? Great. You're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine doing a special Acolyte kind of thing. They definitely did one for The Bachelor, which fit perfectly. But they've been doing masterful marketing, targeting the right demographics. They haven't oversaturated The trailer's been good. The excitement is high. And now we're hearing that it is doubling what Fandango's other top sellers were for the entire year. I said before that I do not see Deadpool and Wolverine making $250 million opening weekend. Like, let's not be unrealistic. It's going to have a big opening weekend, but $250 million is not in play. I think I take that back. I'm not saying it will make $250 million opening weekend, but I'm no longer going to say that's an impossibility. I honestly thought before that was impossible. I just don't know that it's so impossible anymore. I think 200 is absolutely in play, and I think $250 million is not completely unreasonable at this point. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. Guys, it's one of the most unfortunate human tendencies that we have to try to compare our life to others. And social media plays a big part of that. Comparison is like the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives because on the surface, it might look like they have it all together on their Instagram or YouTube, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Anyway, Chris, you see this thing coming out of Fandango saying easily Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be their top ticket seller of the year. Yeah. And that right now it is doubling what the other top films of the year were. What's your first takeaway from this? And what's the ceiling on this thing for opening weekend, do you think?
My first takeaway is that I've been right this whole time. I've been right the whole time. Bask in my glory. I've thought this was going to do really, really well. When y'all were doing that 200, I was like, no, 250. I still stand by it. 250.
You're standing by 250.
It's going to make so much money. We have had, for those of us who are really into superhero fare, we've had a drought.
Yes.
Yep.
And one that we needed, frankly, just because we needed to work on quality over quantity. And that is what Disney has been saying is their whole thrust this year is really working on that quality. If you really enjoy this kind of content, you're going to come see this movie. If you like Ryan Reynolds, you're going to come see this movie. If you like Hugh Jackman or their friendship, you're going to come see this movie. I think this is going to do really well. Their marketing has been masterful. The Bachelor commercials were so good.
So good, targeting the female audience.
The People magazine interviews were so heartfelt and lovely, and even that tied into the marketing of just, hey, full warning, this is an actual genuine conversation. We're so sorry. The little quips too of everyone should get to work with their best friend. I hope I get to one day. Right. All of it has been so good and just makes you want to go see this movie so that even if it isn't that good, and I think it will be, I do think this movie is going to be really well done. But even if it's not, you get to see a pair of best friends have the best time. And at the end of the day, I think that's kind of enough. I think this movie is going to do so well, and I'm expecting very big numbers.
I was overhearing, as I was sitting here working pre-show, Ray was working and listening to an interview with Sean Levy, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds. And that topic came up about kids. Because everybody's saying, you can't have $1 billion R-rated film because kids can't go. There was a $1 billion R-rated comic book film just a little while ago.
Yep.
But the topic came up with Ryan and Hugh and Sean saying, like, what about the kids stuff? And Ryan said, listen, so many kids saw Deadpool 1 and 2. I say, bring them. Because, of course, kids can go see the movie as long as they're accompanied by an adult. Yeah. So I say, bring them, bring the kids. And then Hugh Jackman goes, well, I'd say maybe if they're 2, maybe leave them at home. If they're 2 or younger, too loud. And then Ryan is like, or if they're like over 80, because they may not be able to hear anything. So it's like under 2 and maybe over 80. Otherwise, everybody should go. I think there's been so many people who've been so concerned about that, the kids aren't going to be able to go. Kids aren't going to be able to go.
Yeah, they are.
Kids are going to go.
Parents are going to take them to see this.
Parents are going to take
all you have
to
to do is look at these events that are going on and look at all the kids that are like with their parents or not. that are like in line for autographs and in the they're not doing that, but like, oh well, hope I get to see this on streaming someday. Like they're going.
Yeah, they're gonna go see this. I just keep thinking about, remember when the Adam Project came out and there was that great clip of Walker Scobell doing Deadpool lines
Oh my
to
God,
Ryan
that
Reynolds?
was so good.
And it's Ryan Reynolds just mortified that he knows this so well. But also, you know that delivery, that cadence, all of that is what helped him get that role. So parents, if you want your child actor to be successful, take him to Deadpool.
By the way, can I throw to over under chances that Walker Scobell makes a cameo in this movie?
I would love if he was like a kid Deadpool. I think that'd be super fun.
Because he does such a perfect Ryan Reynolds. It's absolutely incredible. So I don't know, Ray, where's your prediction right now? I mean, we're seeing these. I mean, this.
What did I say before? I think I was saying 175. Oh,
I'm surprised you didn't say
I'm
500
gonna go with
million.
Chris. I'm gonna go with Chris.
Yay!
I'm just gonna ride that.
You're gonna go 250.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna ride that. I'm gonna get the back seat. Chris is gonna be driving. We're gonna be going to that.
We're going to die in that car.
We're gonna be 250. You know what? That interview I was listening to was from Variety, and just the beginning about how they came up with this.
It was a
movie
great interview.
and like what they wanted, and you know, because like Hugh Jackman didn't want to do this film unless it was good. There was a good script, and just that whole story makes me believe that we are in for one of the best comic book movies we've ever seen. There's no reason for me not to believe that. After just, you could see like the love in that interview that they have to give us their best in this movie.
They said something really neat in that interview where Sean and Ryan were saying, you know, we were constantly in contact with Kevin Feige, and they said, I think for like 7 months or something like that, they were going back and forth, and they just weren't able to crack
Right.
the story to make it perfect, right? And Kevin would just keep saying, okay, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And they would come back to Kevin Feige with a story idea, and Kevin Feige would say, we're not there yet. But then Hugh Jackman called them. He called Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds and said, okay, I'm in. And he said, then we made our next call to Kevin Feige, and Kevin said, okay, I don't think we're quite there yet. And they said, well, Kevin, what if we brought Wolverine into it? And they said, like, within 24 hours, we had our story idea. And like, they worked on it for months and months and months. And Kevin Feige kept saying, nope, it's got to be perfect or we're not doing it yet. It's got to be perfect or we're not doing
And
it
they
yet.
also mentioned characters a lot of
Yes, yes.
times. What the best part of that interview was Hugh Jackman said, and not only for his character, but every character that's going to appear in this movie, it felt like they were writing like it was their movie.
Their children. Said
Yeah,
they
yeah,
felt
it
it
was
was
their
writing
children.
like they said the writers and the producers, Hugh Jackman said, he said, I've never felt in a movie like the writers and producers were truly caring for every single character as if it was their own children.
Yep.
And he said the care I saw they were putting into Wolverine and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, look, at the end of the day, we still don't know how good this movie will be, good or bad, right? Yeah, we're hearing the first 35 minutes are spectacular. So was the first 30 minutes for Lightyear. And we all saw how that turned out. So maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be spectacular. But what is turning out to look like a certainty is we may be looking at the first $200 million opening film since Spider-Man No Way Home, which would be incredible. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Fandango is saying right now, Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, is doubling what the top films of 2024 are in terms of advanced ticket sales. How big of an opening weekend do you think this can be? I mean, you know, because everybody said Marvel was dead. Anyway, what do you think about this? What's standing out to you the most? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.